Pemex has been always a patronage instrument of the Mexican state. And it has had, until recently, an easy time because it had a very productive oil field in Cantarell, which produced 2.2 million barrels at some point in time. Right now, Mexico has to invest a lot of money and has to go into deep offshore, and that requires a lot of investment, much more than Pemex has ever done. And it requires also assuming a very significant risk and using sophisticated technology. As a result, Pemex needs to go into either partnership or joint ventures with companies that can help them do that, or it has to open up a little bit to private investment in terms of taking shareholders like Petrobras did in Brazil, but probably a mix of both.
Let's go from Mexico to Venezuela. Hugo Chavez claims they have nearly 300 billion barrels of reserves. We know about the big refinery fire, and then we had another refinery getting hit by lightning. What needs to happen at PDVSA in Venezuela to make it much more efficient? It's starving for capital as well.
Yes, PDVSA is having a significant problem of cash flow, basically because the government extracts all the cash flow from PDVSA, and the company has not been investing in the last few years. It has not maintained its refineries or its infrastructure. As a result, the company has had a lot of accidents and spills, and it requires now to increase investment, and particularly in the Orinoco area, where the extra heavy oil future of the country is in place. And that requires less extraction of resources from PDVSA and a bigger role for the partners of the joint ventures.
Do you think, in fact, the problems of PDVSA will come back to haunt Hugo Chavez at the polls? Is there a real threat that he may get bounced because of his mismanagement of the oil company?
I mean, at this point, because of the very high price of oil, the problems of PDVSA have been hidden by all these significant windfall. And as a result, most of the population do not perceive the lack of investment in the oil industry, and the decline in the production has not taken its toll in terms of fiscal income. So only events such as the refinery accidents show these problems. So I don't think at this point it will have an effect on the elections.
How about in Brazil? The aspirations are very big, Francisco, to go to 5-6 million barrels a day by 2020. It's very deep water drilling. Can they afford to go that deep? Can they hit this target by 2020 in Brazil?
I mean, Petrobras is a company that does well in deep offshore. However, the levels of investment required and the risks that they will be assuming probably should be spread out to having a larger role to private companies than they are willing to do it at this point. They will be hard-pressed to meet their production targets. I don't think they will meet their production targets by 2020.